Welcome to Marion County Today. We are so excited to bring this brand new program to you. And this is a program put on by Marion County, by the Board of Commissioners. We are going to bring you timely topics of interest about Marion County, about our services, about issues and things that are important to you, the citizens of Marion County. So today we're going to have a show about OSU Extension, and our first guest on the show is Derek Godwin.
Hi, Janet.
Hi, Derek. How are you?
Doing good.
And Derek is the Regional Administrator for OSU Extension here in Marion County, correct?
Yes, correct.
And so we want to talk just for a few minutes about what OSU Extension does, because the services are really important. So let me ask you, first of all, what does OSU Extension do for agriculture in Marion County?
For agriculture, yeah. Well, so first off, let me just say that Extension is part of OSU, but based in the counties. So we extend knowledge from university out to the communities. So in agriculture, a lot of what we do is helping farm businesses be either more productive in what they're growing or what they're doing, or more profitable. So for example, we do a lot of on-farm research. We have ag faculty out in the fields doing various research plots and helping farmers know better how to raise their crops or how to make decisions, that sort of thing.
So I've been on an ag tour, and we went to the OSU Extension Research Center up by Aurora, and we got to go, and they were like growing like different blueberries and that kind of thing. So why do they do that? I mean, when you're talking about making decisions, what kinds of decisions are you talking about?
Sure. Well, so some examples in the blueberries, for example, blueberries are definitely a hot crop here in Marion County. And so some of the questions that farmers have, instead of each farm doing their own research, it makes a lot more sense to do it in a central location or have a particular farm host a variety of plots to answer questions. Up there, one of the things that's really interesting is they are trying to get a blueberry more of a tree. So instead of a blueberry bush, a little bit higher of a tree is one research project. And the idea is they're trying to get a type of tree that can be harvested mechanically and help cut down some of the costs.
I see.
But other things are they try many different types of varieties and things. If you've ever go to the Blueberry Day, you can taste all these different variety of blueberries and you get a sense for which ones taste best that could market better. So.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So that research is really important. Why would it be important for someone living, say, in Salem?
Well, so in Salem, it's a variety of things, right? So one thing is some of the products that are grown, some of the crops that are grown are sold locally. Many of them, we are such a productive valley that many of them are shipped out or exported. So in that sense, we have more jobs available through agriculture. And then ultimately it comes back to the economy, whether it be in specific jobs or whether the folks, the growers, the agriculture, maybe they're purchasing other equipment or purchasing supplies that are local. So it's a whole kind of industry that's obviously big for Marion County.
And a lot of people don't realize how much agriculture comes out of Marion County. We're first, right, in the state?
Yes, yeah. When you think of agriculture in terms of gross farm sales, so like what is the cost of the product as it leaves the farm, Marion County is number one in the state by far, and by a couple hundred million. So it's big time for the economy locally.
That's really important.
Yeah.
And then in addition to those large farms and blueberries and the things we just talked about, you have a Master Gardener program for small farms, right? So tell us a little bit about that.
So Extension, as I mentioned, we serve in the community. So we have a variety of different areas. Urban horticulture is big for us too, and that's where our Master Gardener program. So a lot of things, a lot of education that Extension provides is training volunteers like Master Gardeners that then serve the community. And the Master Gardeners do that through answering gardening questions. That's a lot of what they do. But they teach other folks. They have workshops. They serve in community gardens. So I think there's over 50 some odd gardens just in the Salem area, for example, and they help design those and help people understand how to set their garden up so it can be as productive and effective as they can.
That's great. And then the other area I wanted to make sure that we mentioned just in this overview is are the youth programs, because that's really important. And everybody's heard of 4-H. I've been out talking to people about OSU Extension, and 4-H is the one thing that they hear about. So just tell us a bit about what that is.
Yeah, so 4-H, it's an amazing program. The whole idea of 4-H, of how it started, was that you're creating life skills for youth through some kind of hands-on project, hands-on learning. And the traditional way is we think of raising an animal throughout the year and showing it at fair, but there's many other areas that are popular in 4-H now, from after-school robotics programs to soccers to shooting sports to camps, summer camps. But again, the idea still holds true today, is that you're teaching youth life skills, or some employers call it soft skills, to help them be productive or help them be successful in school, as well as jobs, employment in the future. And then community service. All of the clubs within 4-H provide some kind of community service.
And most of those clubs are run by volunteers, right?
Yes, so with Extension, that's a big thing, is our volunteers. What's interesting is this past year, our volunteers reported, and they usually don't report everything they do, but they reported over 55,000 hours.
Wow.
That's a lot. That's a lot of community service.
Right. We see them at the Marion County Fair in the summer too,
Yes.
and we really appreciate that.
Yep.
So there are a few other programs Marion County does for Extension
Yeah.
and we're really getting close to being out of time. So nutrition programs, right? Anything else you want to mention?
Well, in nutrition, many people have heard of Master Food Preservers, so that's with OSU. Another area that folks may not have heard of is the Master Woodland Managers, similar to agriculture in that we're serving family woodlands, like family ag, family woodlands, and training them how to manage their property, and then also training volunteers to serve others. So many things in the community.
So thank you so much, Derek, for being
Thanks,
here today
Janet.
and for all you do for our community.
I appreciate it. Thanks. Extending knowledge, changing lives.
The financial impact is tremendous here.
Ensures that that's going to happen within Marion County as far forward as we can see.
A lot of what we provide is really directly related to building jobs. And it's through our agriculture, through our forestry program, even through our youth development, and even our family and food nutrition side.
My oldest daughter is the president of her 4-H club. It's helped develop her into a leader and to be a more confident person.
Teach me some responsibility, some leadership skills, and teaches me how to help others around town and respect people for who they are.
It's also planting a flag on behalf of our agricultural community. We believe you to be important, and we want you to be here for a long time.
There couldn't be anything that's more important, really, for people to be healthy in their community. You can learn to grow food yourself, which is important, and kids really, really like that. You show them some seeds, they get a chance to plant some seeds, you put water on it. They love it. They're in awe of that. Anything that you could think of, we do have a workshop, hands-on, nitty-gritty, what's involved with growing that product.
That long-term investment is so important to shape and to develop a bountiful harvest later. And we can do the same with our children and our community.
We build a really good foundation, put it in our resume, and get a college or a job. Building up and building up and building up, it can help us do pretty much anything.
Because I've always wanted a belt buckle. And once I heard, when I got out of the show ring, I was so happy that I heard I got a belt buckle. All that hard work added up to that point. I cried tears of joy.
To strengthen that and build it to historic levels and maybe even go farther would be just great for the economy.
We've been around over 100 years, and in order to continue, a secure, strong funding is essential.
Increases the overall health and benefit of the community.
As someone who was raised in the 4-H program, I can't think of anything else that would be better for the long-term health of Marion County than the support of this initiative.
Well, I get the fun task this afternoon and get to talk about a program that's been close to my family and members of it, 4-H. And I have a couple of people here who have long experience, Elizabeth Burleson and Patty Taylor. I'll talk first because I just have to. Had a daughter involved in 4-H, Elizabeth. You're going to find a lot in common. Likes horses. Got in as a oh, I don't know, a little tiny girl, and we've upgraded a time or two, but she still can't quite let go, and she still likes it. So maybe you just say the same. Tell about your tie-in with 4-H, what you're doing right now, and probably even more important, what's your goal at the end? Where do you want to end up in terms of 4-H horses or anything?
Well, right now I have 2 horses that are my projects. I'm training a wild Mustang for a 100-day challenge, and I have a riding mare. And so I've been to State Fair one time with my mare, and I've gotten so far in these past few years. It's been amazing.
Now, Elizabeth, on your shirt it says Saddle Slappers. That's a 4-H club, I take it?
Yes, that's my 4-H
And
club.
that's where?
That is based all around Kaiser. We have kids from a little farther out coming too. So.
Now I got to get back to this wild horse thing a little bit. I can't really let that slide. 100-day challenge. Where are you at? And is it going good?
Yes.
And where did you get this horse? Let's talk about that for a second.
I got her from the Burns Wild Horse Corrals, and she's from a herd called Palomino Buttes. It's just outside of Burns, and we're on day 76 right now. And we have come so far. She's been really good. The first few days I had trouble touching her, but now I can hug her and she doesn't care. She's great.
I guess we really should be tying. How's 4-H helped you on this goal? And if I did interrupt you, didn't let you finish where you want to go with all this?
4-H has given me so many good skills that I wouldn't have learned elsewhere. I've learned parts of the saddle, parts of the bridle, and parts of the horse, and feeding, and I've learned how to do records and stuff like that.
So have you had individuals from 4-H to give you clues on how to deal with this challenge?
Yeah. What's great about 4-H is that they have a lot of helpers.
All right.
And so if you're clueless, there's always somebody to help you.
I think I need to belong. I've got to get to Patty before time goes on, but I do wish you the best, and I'd love to see how that ends up. And you mentioned earlier that you might do it again, and I hope you do, because I think you'd give the best chance to one of these horses to acclimate and get. You said they go to permanent foster homes.
Yes.
That sounds good. Now, Patty, let me turn to you, and I know a little bit. You've been involved with 4-H yourself for a long time, but also a daughter, and I'm not going to lay it out. Would you just tell us the story, and starting with your involvement and then your daughter's, and whatever relevant and some of the things about 4-H that people might not know?
Well, 4-H, for one thing, has been around for a long time. My aunt was involved. My mom was a leader. I was involved as a child in school. Then I got my own children, and I became a leader because there wasn't a program, which is kind of how leaders sometimes get involved. But I knew the value of 4-H, the importance of the skills that are learned in 4-H, the importance of the competition that's involved in the esteem that kids get from participating in that. Then along came my daughter, Kimberly.
I've got to interrupt. So I'm trying to picture. So what did you specialize, show, whatever, 4-H as a youngster yourself?
Oh, I was in a cooking group. It was very selective.
Okay, well,
so that's one of your favorites.
Yes,
so I
is.
could make you something really good.
I wish I'd have thought of that before.
Doggone. So I should have brought you something
Go
to see
ahead.
a sample. So now, when my daughter was born that experiences disability, I didn't know if she was going to be able to participate or not. But one of the things I've learned is that 4-H is very adaptable and very embraceable for those who experience disability. It's an easily usable format for those of any level and capability. So for my own daughter, it's just been incredible. She has cooked in front of a judge at the county fair.
I got to meet her at another event a month or so ago, and she told me that.
Yes, which has been an incredible opportunity for her to practice skills and to gain confidence in her own abilities. And then she comes home with this whole wad of ribbons from county fair. And then she usually gets something selected that goes to state fair, which is also a really great esteem builder for her. And at County Fair, they all see her and they all know she has a disability. But when her stuff goes to
It's
State
judged
Fair,
on its own.
it's judged on its own. And so last year she was the State Fair intermediate level winner, grand champion for her patio planter. They never saw her. That's just
that's
her.
wonderful.
So that tells me that 4-H is a very
They
successful
said time
program.
would go quick, and I knew it would, but I got to ask, Elizabeth, you never mentioned our county fair. I hope you've been involved in that or will be in the
Yes.
future. I know, because 4-H has a big part there. Well, I think we're done, and I appreciate all your efforts in 4-H and wish you both the best and hope to see you again.
Our next guest is Ian Dixon McDonald from Marion Polk Food Share. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
And what is your position at Marion Polk Food Share? What do you do there?
Vice President of Programs. So my role at the Food Share is to work with all of our community services that we provide.
And you work with the Extension Service in Marion County then quite a bit.
Quite a bit over the last several years. We've done a number of projects and had a wonderful experience working with Extension.
Now you were telling me that you work with the farms and with Extension. So how does that affect the Marion Polk Food Share?
Absolutely. So a couple different levels. So starting on the small scale, so we do community gardens, and Master Gardeners have been a huge part of our community garden program, providing education, classes, a number of activities in our garden program are headed up by Master Gardeners. So that's a big one.
Well, before you go,
yeah,
so
yeah.
so you're also, people know Marion Polk Food Share because people get food boxes, right? So are
Absolutely.
you using the produce from these gardens for food boxes, or how does that work?
Somewhat, yes. So some of our gardens are geared towards providing food for food boxes in particular. So they're located right next to food pantries. So fresh food is going right from the garden directly into a food box. Also, some of our gardens are really more of a self-sufficiency program. So they're there for people to utilize that garden and take home that food and supplement their diet, and ideally need a little bit less emergency food themselves.
We're just doing a food drive in Marion County pretty soon. It used to be that people, would kind of stick any old thing in a food box, but I know you're really trying to get people to eat nutritious
so
foods.
we're big on nutritious foods. Oregon in general and Marion Polk Food Share in particular are really focused on a nutritional food box, and Extension is a part of that too, actually. Our whole inventory system, which we call the core food system, is actually developed by with Extension, helped us through the nutrition ed programs, helped us develop that inventory system.
Oh, that's really interesting. So what else do you do with nutrition and foods?
So aside from the food box contents themselves, we provide trainings for our pantry managers and ways to promote healthy foods. Again, there we consult with nutrition ed folks at Extension. And then the classes in the gardens. We also do a teen-focused youth farm program that is a 4-H youth development partnership.
So tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so we work with OSU Extension on this. It's a program that's a youth development, and we have a number of teens every summer. So this year we have 15 teens that will be enrolled in running a small farm, and it benefits the food share through produce donations, so they contribute food. And then we also see it as a work experience program. So the youth that are involved get to actually run a farmer's market booth and get to learn the business aspects of running a small farm.
That's really great.
Yeah.
Anything else that you do with the Marion County Extension?
Yes, the list continues. So we also work with them on our we have a large production-focused farm. So we manage 200 acres on some land that's owned by Department of Corrections, and we consult with Extension quite a bit on this project as well. In particular, we have experimented with growing quinoa. And we've worked with the community horticulturalist and others from Extension and OSU in general on figuring out how to try growing quinoa, how to track what we're doing, how to provide some research that could be useful for other farmers that might want to try it on a bigger scale.
So quinoa. So I just learned what this was when I was going through, I won't name the name of it, but a particular drive-through and pronounced it totally wrong. So so why is that a good food?
Yeah, so quinoa is it's a high protein, it's a seed, it's an edible seed, but it's treated as a grain in many ways. And so it's the big thing that we were interested in is the high protein content. When you look at the foods that we get and the food boxes we're able to distribute, protein is always the most difficult part to fulfill. And so in looking at that, we saw quinoa as a source of increasing the protein content. So currently we are currently doing that through a garden burger product that we make, but we're also looking at using quinoa in other ways, like adding it to a chili mix and that sort of thing. So other ways to supplement in some higher protein foods.
think I had a chance to sample that garden burger.
Yeah.
That's your own concoction, right?
It is our own concoction, and it's meant as a supplement. So we're always going to be focusing on, we're always going to try to have meat in there and peanut butter and things like that. And the garden burger is an extra supplement, and it also helps with those with dietary restrictions too.
So it sounds like OSU Extension and this partnership is really strong, and there's a lot of different facets to it.
Absolutely, yeah. It's like, again, it's been, we wouldn't be able to do what we do without Extension. It's been incredibly helpful for all of our, not only our agricultural farm programs, but also our nutrition work as well.
Anything we didn't touch on that you want to talk about?
I think those are the main parts.
All right, very good. Well, thank you so much for being on the program, and thank you for all you do with Marion Polk Food Share.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
Well, we're here with John Burt, who is a retired OSU Extension Service District individual who served a lot of time. So John, and I also know John from Farmers Ending Hunger and do really good work there too. John, well, welcome. And
thanks, Kevin.
I'd like to talk a little bit about the economic impact of the Extension Service District and what it means to Marion County.
Okay, well, I already heard Derek mention a little bit earlier about the importance of agriculture in Marion County. Marion County has been the #1 producing agricultural county in Oregon for many years, if not a couple of decades. $640 million of farm gate income. Wow. It doesn't end there. What that means, that $640 million is the acres times the yield times the price at the farm gate. Lots of things happen to that after it leaves the farm. Value-added processing, companies like Norpac, Rain Sweet, Oregon Fruit Products, Bruce Pack, they all add value to that. They employ people to add that value. And those dollars turn around in the economy. They flow through several times. And agriculture, as it turns out, has a pretty high turnaround rate. It's called the multiplier effect. And agriculture is one of the highest because it's produced here. The companies that produce it, the income stays here, and they employ a lot of people. They buy a lot of services in town, whether that's insurance, they bank in town, they buy fuel, they buy products. So that's the turnaround impact of those dollars in the economy, and it's big.
Yeah, I've had an opportunity recently to tour a couple of businesses that are in the ag industry that people might not even think about, and how they ship product worldwide to actually produce it. You want to share a little bit about those?
Yeah, one of those that you mentioned was Steffen Systems. They build farm equipment for handling hay, straw products, compressors of all types, large scale, small scale, and they ship them all over the world. They're an international business. You wouldn't, unless you knew about them, you wouldn't even know they're out there. But they started in the farm shop about 30 years ago, building equipment that is as high tech and as advanced as anything that the big operations build. And that's just one example. Litow harvesters out in Staten, blueberry harvesters, other berry harvesters. These are all ag-related businesses that, again, are those added dollars in the multiplier that are here in this area because agriculture is here. And you mentioned the district that is being considered for OSU Extension in Marion County. The positions that are in that district will work with those producers, suppliers, businesses to add and provide information, research-based information that is generated from OSU and other university systems, and get that information out to the producers at the production level in the farm, and also the value-added end of things as well.
So if I'm a person who lives in one of the cities in Marion County, what's the economic benefit to some of our cities, such as Salem and other surrounding cities?
Yeah, we're blessed to live in one of the best agricultural regions in the world, and just about everything is produced around here. And you don't have to drive 5 minutes out of town, and you'll run across a farm stand, a U-pick operation, and also because of all those farms around us that are producing for the local market, we have many farmers markets where these products are available to people on a weekly basis right here in town. One of the positions that is being looked at for the Extension District would be a OSU faculty that would deal with small farms, local production, direct marketing, and would help do some coordination and enhancement of the products that are getting to the farmers markets, and also work with those beginning small-scale growers who are looking to get into those markets, provide them technical information, some marketing ideas, how to create a high-value, high-quality product, how to handle it after harvest, those kind of things.
Yeah. One of the things I think of economic development is workforce. And I think of the 4-H program and some of the benefits to our workforce from the 4-H program. You share any thoughts on that?
Oh, yeah, if you talk to employers, it's certain things like responsibility, how to finish a job, those kinds of things are pretty important, maybe more important than you can teach you the job skills, but it's all those other qualities, and those are the kind of things that the kids learn at length, how to stand up in front of a judge or another group and make a presentation, talk to people skills. I just saw an article today in the paper that said people skills were more important than anything else for kids coming out of college even. So I think those kind of skills that you learn in 4-H are invaluable. They're great.
Yeah. Any other economic benefits you think of from other parts of the Extension Service District, such as the local gardener or the processing that opens up opportunities for people?
There's a wide range of technical information, of course, that's available. There's a whole food science and technology department that works directly with the food processors. Also, we now have a fermentation science, which is related to brewing types of products, and those are some really up-and-coming businesses that are starting up in a lot of small-scale operations, but also are creating a lot of jobs.
Well, you're speaking of something that we might want to get done right now and move on from there. Yeah, it's great.
Is the point.
Well, John, thank you very much for being here today.
My pleasure.
I just want to thank, first of all, I want to thank our guests today that have been a part of the program. Thanks CCTV for putting this show on. And remember, on May 19th, you'll have an opportunity to vote for a Marion County Extension Service District. It'll be on the ballot on May 19th, and we hope you will take interest. And this program's been educational for you to make an informed decision. Thank you very much.